The Morrison family's annual shareholder meeting was scheduled for 10 a.m., but my brothers had cornered me in the conference room at 9:15. Classic Marcus and John, always thinking they could intimidate me when no one else was around. Just sign the papers, Kate. Marcus pushed the documents across the mahogany table. Make this easy on yourself. I studied my older brothers. Marcus in his $5,000 suit, John nervously adjusting his Rolex. They looked powerful, successful. The perfect heirs to Morrison Technologies. But I saw what others missed, the desperation in their eyes. Why now? I asked quietly, though I already knew. After 5 years of ignoring my shares in the company, why the sudden interest? John glanced at his phone again, the 4th time in 10 minutes. The board meeting's in 45 minutes. Sign the transfer documents, take the buyout, and walk away with $2 million. Generous offer. Generous? For 25% of a company worth billions. I suppressed a smile, thinking about what they didn't know. What they'd never bothered to learn about their little sister. And if I refuse? I kept my voice neutral, years of practice hiding my thoughts. Marcus leaned forward, his facade of brotherly concern slipping. Then we'll make sure everyone knows about your problems. The board won't want a mentally unstable shareholder, will they? Ah, there it was. The threat they've been building to. 5 years ago, they'd used my breakdown after Dad's death to push me out of operations. For my own good, they claimed. The perfect excuse to sideline the sister they'd always underestimated. My problems, I repeated softly. You mean the 6 months I took off to grieve our father? While you two were fighting over his office before his body was cold. That's not. John started, but his phone buzzed again. This time, his face paled slightly as he read the message. I knew what it said. I'd orchestrated every message he'd received this morning. Something wrong? I asked innocently. You seem nervous, John. Sign the papers. Marcus snapped, patience wearing thin. Or we'll destroy you. Every mental health record, every therapist visit, every medication. By the time we're done, you won't be able to manage a coffee shop, let alone hold shares in a tech company. I checked my watch. 9:20 a.m. Right on schedule. Interesting threat, I noted. Especially considering what's happening right now at Quantum Solutions. Both brothers stiffened. Quantum Solutions was our biggest client. $1.2 billion in annual contracts. The cornerstone of Morrison Technologies' success. What are you talking about? Marcus demanded. My phone rang. I'd programmed this call weeks ago, timing it perfectly. Excuse me, I said politely. I should take this. I hit the speaker button. Hello, Ms. Morrison. A familiar voice filled the room. This is Richard Chen, CEO of Quantum Solutions. I'm calling to confirm our new exclusive partnership agreement. Marcus lunged forward. What partnership? Ah, are your brothers there? Richard sounded amused. Perfect timing. I was just telling our board how we'll be transitioning all our contracts to Kate's new division. After all, she's been handling our real development work for the past 2 years. The color drained from my brothers' faces. What? What is he talking about? John whispered. I pulled out my laptop, opening files they'd never bothered to check. Remember when you sidelined me? Suggested I focus on small projects while you handled the real business. Screen after screen showed successful projects, hidden innovations, quiet deals I'd built while they were posturing in board meetings. Those small projects? They're now the backbone of Quantum's entire operating system. The innovations you've been taking credit for. All came from my team. The contracts you're so proud of. They have my signature, not yours. Impossible, Marcus sputtered. We run this company. No, I corrected him. You play at running it. I actually built something. I opened another file. Emails, contracts, development plans. 2 years of careful work, hidden behind the facade of a mentally unstable sister they dismissed. While you were busy threatening me, Quantum Solutions conducted a security audit, found out who really developed their technology, who actually delivered results instead of empty promises. Richard's voice came through the speaker again. Kate, the transfer is complete. All development contracts now run through your division. Exclusive partnership, as agreed. Thank you, Richard. I smiled. I'll see you at the board meeting. As I ended the call, Marcus grabbed the buyout papers, hands shaking. You can't do this. We control the board. About that, I pulled up one final document. Remember when Dad restructured the company before he died? The shares he left in trust. John's face went even paler. The neutral trustee was appointed by me. I finished. Dad knew what you two were. Knew you'd try to push me out. So he made sure I had protection, if I could prove myself worthy of running his company. The screens around the room lit up with project data, client testimonials, and financial records. 2 years of hidden success, revealed all at once. The board meeting starts in 30 minutes. I stood up, straightening my jacket. They'll be very interested in learning who's really been driving this company's innovation. Who really secured our biggest client's loyalty? We're your brothers. Marcus tried. Desperation replacing threats. Family. Family. I laughed softly. You haven't been family since you tried to destroy me after Dad died. You've been obstacles. Now you're just footnotes. I gathered my materials, heading for the door. Oh, and those mental health records you threatened to expose. Release them. Show everyone how I rebuilt myself, developed groundbreaking technology, and saved this company, all while dealing with grief and anxiety. I'm sure the press will love that story. Leaving them in the conference room, I headed to my real office, the one they'd never known about, where I'd spent 2 years building the future they couldn't see. The quiet sister they'd underestimated had just changed the game. And I was just getting started. At exactly 10 a.m., I walked into the Morrison Technologies boardroom. The tension was palpable. 18 board members shifting uncomfortably in their leather chairs, watching the drama unfold. Marcus and John sat at their usual places, faces still ashen from our earlier confrontation. Behind them, a screen displayed the Quantum Solutions logo, a reminder of what they'd just lost. Before we begin, I announced, taking my seat, there are some changes to discuss. I nodded to Amanda, my previously hidden executive assistant. She distributed folders to each board member, detailed reports of the past 2 years' actual operations. What you're looking at, I continued, is the true source of Morrison Technologies' recent successes. Not the public projects my brothers have been taking credit for, but the real innovations that have kept this company competitive. The board members began flipping through pages, their expressions shifting from confusion to shock. Project Phoenix. I clicked through slides on the main screen. The AI integration system that saved Quantum Solutions $300 million last year. Developed by my team, not the official R&D department. Marcus started to stand. This is ridiculous. The neural network security protocol, I continued, ignoring him. The one that just won the Defense Department contract. Also my team. In fact, I pulled up a spreadsheet. 73% of our major technological breakthroughs in the past 2 years came from the division my brothers thought was handling small projects. Harold Chin, our lead independent director, leaned forward. Why are we just learning about this now? I smiled slightly. Because after Dad died, my brothers convinced everyone I was unstable. unfit for leadership. It was easier to let them believe that while I built something real. She's lying, John protested weakly. We've been running this company into the ground. I cut him off, switching to financial projections. Your visible projects are over budget, behind schedule, and failing quality controls. The only reason our stock price hasn't crashed is because of my hidden innovations. The boardroom doors opened, admitting Richard Chen from Quantum Solutions and his chief counsel. Perfect timing. I nodded to them. Richard, would you like to explain the new contract structure to our board? For the next 30 minutes, Richard detailed how he discovered my secret division, verified our actual contributions, and made the decision to transfer all development contracts to my direct control. To be clear, he concluded, Quantum Solutions' $1.2 billion annual contract now runs exclusively through Kate's division. Her brothers are no longer involved in any capacity. The board erupted in questions. Marcus and John sat frozen, watching their power evaporate. There's more, I announced, pulling up the trust documents. Dad left 30% of company shares in a neutral trust controlled by this board. The terms were clear. Those shares would support whichever heir proved most capable of advancing his legacy. Harold Chen studied the documents carefully. And you've been building evidence of your capability. For 2 years, I confirmed. Every project documented. Every innovation verified. Every success quietly recorded while my brothers were playing corporate politics. I distributed another set of files. My complete business plan for Morrison Technologies' future. Quantum Solutions is just the beginning. I've been in talks with 5 other major clients who want access to our real innovation team. Not the flashy presentations my brothers give, but the actual technological breakthroughs we deliver. The board spent an hour reviewing my plans, asking detailed questions that I answered with the expertise of someone who'd actually built something, not just managed it. Finally, Harold called for a vote. The evidence is clear, he announced. The trust shares will support Kate Morrison's leadership. Combined with her existing 25% stake, this gives her controlling interest in Morrison Technologies. Marcus lunged to his feet. You can't do this. We're the ones who... Who what? I interrupted quietly. Who tried to destroy your sister instead of recognizing her capabilities? Who valued appearance over innovation? Who just lost our biggest client because you couldn't see past your own arrogance? I stood up, addressing the board. My brothers will be offered positions in the restructured company if they can prove their value through actual work, not family connections. And if we refuse? John asked. I smiled. Then explained to our shareholders why you deserve multi-million-dollar salaries while contributing nothing but threats and failed projects. As the board filed out, already adapting to the new power structure, I stopped by my brother's chairs. You wanted me to sign away my shares. I reminded them. Instead, I just took control of yours. Funny how things work out. In my office later that day, I reviewed the messages flooding in. Employees finally revealing other innovations they'd hidden from my brothers. Clients requesting meetings about exclusive partnerships. Journalists seeking interviews about the company's shocking leadership change. But one message meant more than the others, from Dad's old assistant. He knew, Before he died, he told me to watch out for his quiet daughter. Said she had his real genius, not just his name. I smiled, remembering Dad's last words to me. Let them underestimate you, Katie. True power doesn't need to shout. It builds, creates, transforms. Show them what real leadership looks like. The next morning, I arrived early to find my brothers waiting in my office. What do you want? I asked, setting down my laptop. Marcus looked different. Humbled. Maybe. The position you offered. We'd like to discuss it. I studied them carefully. No more corner offices. No executive titles. You'll start where I did, proving your worth through actual work. We can learn, John said quietly, if you'll teach us. Funny, I replied. 2 days ago you were threatening to destroy me. Now you want me to teach you. We were wrong, Marcus admitted. About everything. I thought about Dad, about his belief in redemption through hard work. Monday morning, 8 a.m. sharp. Regular offices on the development floor. Show me you can build something real. And maybe you'll earn back some of what you lost. As they left, I turned to the windows, watching the city wake up. My phone buzzed with project updates, client meetings, and board confirmations. The quiet sister had become the powerful CEO. The hidden genius had emerged. And the real innovation was just beginning. 6 months after taking control of Morrison Technologies, I stood in my father's old office, now mine, preparing for another board meeting. But this one was different. Today would reveal whether my brothers could truly change, and whether the company's transformation was complete. The morning sun reflected off the glass skyscrapers surrounding our headquarters, casting patterns across the project reports on my desk. Each page told a story of revolution. Stock price up 45%. Market share increased by 30%. Innovation patents tripled. Employee satisfaction at record levels. A knock at my door preceded Amanda's entrance. They're ready for you. Both presentations. The main auditorium was packed. Shareholders, employees, media, and industry analysts. All here to witness what I'd built from the ashes of my brother's reign. I took the podium, remembering the day they threatened to destroy me. 6 months ago, I began. Morrison Technologies stood at a crossroads. Not between success and failure, but between appearance and substance. Between what we claimed to be and what we could actually achieve. The screens behind me lit up with our latest innovations. Real ones, not the empty promises of the past. Our partnership with Quantum Solutions has expanded into a $3 billion annual contract. Our AI security protocols have become industry standard. And our development teams, all of them, are now working in true collaboration. I paused, looking at Marcus and John, sitting in regular seats among the development team members. Some of you know that my brothers started in new positions 6 months ago. Entry-level development roles, stripped of their executive titles. Today, they'll present their first major project. Marcus and John walked to the podium, dressed in standard business attire instead of their once signature expensive suits. Something had changed in them. The arrogance replaced by something resembling humility. Project Unity, Marcus began, pulling up their presentation. A breakthrough in quantum encryption that we developed with our team members, not over them. For the next hour, they demonstrated actual innovation. Real work they'd done alongside developers they once would have ignored. The technology was impressive, but more striking was their transformation. We learned, John admitted during the Q&A, that real leadership isn't about titles or threats. It's about building something meaningful. Our sister, he paused, emotion visible, showed us what we should have seen years ago. After their presentation, I returned to the podium. This is the new Morrison Technologies, where innovation comes from every level, where good ideas matter more than good connections, where even those who once wielded power destructively can learn to build constructively. I introduced our new initiatives, an innovation incubator open to all employees, a mentorship program pairing experienced developers with emerging talent, a corporate culture that valued substance over style. Some said we were destroying company tradition, I noted. They were right. We destroyed the tradition of hierarchy over merit, of appearance over achievement, of power over purpose. The screens showed our new organizational structure, flat, collaborative, focused on innovation rather than titles. Real power, I continued, isn't in making others feel small. It's in helping them become great. Real leadership isn't about control, it's about creation. As I concluded, the applause was genuine. Not the polite corporate kind, but the sound of true appreciation. Later in my office, Marcus and John asked to speak with me privately. We found these in Dad's old storage unit, Marcus said, placing a box on my desk. You should see them. Inside were Dad's personal journals, including entries from his final months. His last entry struck me deeply. Katie, my quiet warrior. They never saw your strength because they were looking for their own kind of power. But you have something better. The power to build, to transform, to lead through creation rather than domination. I'm leaving you the tools to prove yourself, but you'll have to fight your own battles. Show them what real leadership looks like. And maybe, just maybe, show your brothers too. I looked up at Marcus and John. He hoped you'd learn. We're trying, John said quietly. The past 6 months, actually working with the teams, creating something real, it's changed us. Keep proving it, I replied. Not to me, to yourselves. That evening, as the office quieted, I stood at my window watching the city lights emerge. My phone buzzed constantly. Project updates, partnership requests, media inquiries about our revolutionary corporate structure. But one message made me pause. From a junior developer on Marcus's team. Your brother actually listened to my idea today. Said it was brilliant. Said you taught him that good ideas can come from anywhere. Thank you for changing not just the company, but the people in it. I smiled, thinking of all the battles ahead. The innovations yet to build. The transformations still to come. My father had built the foundation. My brothers had nearly destroyed it. I had transformed it. And somewhere in the company, another quiet innovator was preparing to write the next chapter. Because that's how real change happens. Not through threats or dominance, but through the quiet power of creation. Through the strength to build rather than break. Through the courage to transform not just systems, but people. The underestimated sister had rebuilt an empire. The threatened leader had become a teacher. And the real innovation was just beginning.